go to Jonah.
Hey, Masai, quick two-parter for you. One,
Yeah, the two-part guy.
I squeeze in the two-part.
Yeah.
I love two-parters.
Two-part Jonah. That's what I'm going to start calling.
There's so much that is amazing about this. But the Kawhi Leonard laugh
Yes, that's
brings
my
the whole thing home.
He spent way too much time with Kawhi in Toronto because that laugh certainly started creeping
The
up.
second I heard it yesterday, that's what came to my mind was the Kawhi laugh.
Great.
So
the
good.
laugh distracted from his comment. It was perfect. I won't even notice.
Jonah,
you say-
I did update your super. You ready?
What do we got?
There it is.
Oh, two-part
Jonah.
Jonah. He will be addressed as. That's good.
This is we're just gonna throw this into the bank of nicknames. So like, the ones who have known me the longest, the real ones, like Jones.
The OGs.
Yeah,
you weren't here
Jones.
for our nickname discussion.
Jones is the nickname. So if you call me Jones, we're locked
Jones.
in. Nose is another one that people call me, and that's pretty obvious. Profile pic for y'all. That one I've been dealing with, which is fine. It's fun.
Since what? Probably like 7. Like,
Yeah, I mean, a girl once in elementary school said, "You look like a bird," and ever since that day, I've basically been dealing with nose comments. So there's literally nothing you can say about my nose that I haven't heard before. It was a girl I liked too, so that one, well.
Oh, that's a gut hitter
Yeah,
right there.
I was like, yeah, I look like Toucan Sam. What do you want? But two-part Jonah is pretty good. The only problem is it's a mouthful. So like, I need to talk to Masai, see if we can get it down to like a TPJ, or maybe just two-part.
So
Maybe
so
even
we
Deuce.
we have a
Deuce.
we have a
Like a
PLG,
Deuce.
so I need to make a TPJ one as well.
TPJ,
Just like-
TPJ.
Deuce.
what other things could TPJ stand for, though? Like, I feel like that's got...
We do need to think about that,
I think we have to workshop this one.
especially with Jay in there. You never know. This does bring up an important. I'm gonna make Mike spit out his coffee by the end of the show. It does bring up an important note here because that was my second round of questions. So earlier in the press conference, I asked him something, and then did a follow up to it, and he had already remembered that I had done that. So his recall is pretty good, enough to know that it came back around to him.
This is
and he
two-part
still
guy.
got to. So I asked 4 questions in total at the presser. That etiquette-wise, that's usually not how it goes, right? Like, unless there's only 5 people in a room, typically you get 1, maybe 2. But the Mavs PR, it was like there's about 20. We were 20 minutes deep, and they said, "Any more questions?" I'm like, "Yeah, I've got a ton," because there were a ton of questions that weren't asked. And I'm actually looking around the room, like, "What are you all here for? They're just watching Masai talk. Don't you any of you want to know about the new GM? Like, really, no one asked about Mike Schmitz at all." I was like, "All right, I got to ask that." And then after that, I'm like,
Finley thing too, right?
Well, now you're doing a coaching search. What do you want in a head coach? And he spent really the first part of his answer laying out how much he respects Jason Kidd, and that when he says what he wants in a head coach is not meant to be a shot at Kidd.
Yeah.
It's not like when I say this, it doesn't mean that J Kidd
Was not that.
does not have
he's
those
an incredibly
qualities.
thoughtful and
He knows
introspective
how
person
people might take something
Yes.
and run with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he wanted to clarify that ahead of time. The problem for him is it's still a press conference. People are going to take clips and do what they want with it. But I found out it was important for him to clarify that. But then what I found most notable from his press conference was that final answer where he says we want this, a competitive coach and, someone with that fiery spirit. I really look at, the Spurs head coach kind of embodies that. It's just like this fierce, passionate type of coach. And so I think they're looking for somebody along those lines. Now, it could be a vet. It could be an assistant. It could be, who knows? That is for them to figure out and to decide. But also most notably that final answer, and this is why I'm glad I asked a 2-part question, is the last 38 seconds of that press conference might have been the most profound, because he says, "I'm going to be transparent. I'm going to be accountable. When we make a move, I will take responsibility. I will talk about it." Nico Harrison could never. That was one of the biggest problems with Nico, was that he would make a bold move like this, but never actually explain it. I remember when they traded Luka, it was like there was like 10 different excuses or reasons for it, and that made it hard to understand what was the truth. I feel like with Masai, they're going to make a decision. Like, let's say they do something hard. They have to make a difficult
He's
trade.
gonna own it.
He'll come out and be like, this.
Yeah.
And explain the logic, explain the rationale. And honestly, people should be doing that in their own lives. We let so much stuff filter into our decision making, and then when we just try to fill it with buzzwords, and we overcomplicate things in our daily lives, especially in corporate America, when it's just being direct and explaining yourself can go a long, long way to currying favor with other people.
That plays into something that y'all talked about the other day, is just, and you mentioned it specifically, Mike, is just his leadership that he exudes. And I mean, he has confidence and conviction in what he's doing, what he's saying. And so just that piece of it, not to your point again, Niku could never, because he rode the fence on everything that he did. And so never really took full, tried to make excuses for the Luka trade at every corner, which kind of put Mavs fans on on the bad side. But it doesn't seem like Ujiri is going to be actually quite the opposite of that, and take onus of all the decisions and moves that he makes.
Comment just now on my Facebook page from Araceli Uriegas Andrews. Toilet paper Jonah.
Oh no. TP, yeah. How did we not catch
so
that?
sorry, but that just jumped up in my notification.
So maybe we don't go with TPJ.
That also cuts Deuce out of the equation as well.
Cuts what out? Cuts what?
She said deuce.
It cuts Deuce out of the equation.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Welcome to the last episode of the Ultimate Dallas Workshop.
Director Brian permanently taking over around the half wall.
I'll be like that character in Austin Powers. They call me number 2.